Hi,
Hi.
Arkadia. So let's continue. How do you celebrate international student representation at your university?
Okay, that's my favorite part, so I'm happy to answer it. We do celebrate all major holidays, not just within India, but all the nationalities that are being represented, like it be Chinese New Year. We also have something called as Vietnamese dance, Lotus dance thing
Oh,
that
wow.
happens. And what we do is, not we, but the students, they start planning pre-hand. So they have their student association and they have their cultural clubs and they collaborate and then they come up with, okay, what needs to be done. So if it's Diwali, do we make lanterns by ourselves? Do we do rangoli? Are we going to get organic colors? So they do all of it, and of course the major part is the food. So there's a lot of discussion around who's going to cook what and what's the menu going to be looking like. So they do all of it. So yeah, students do all of these planning and they execute it really well. So I don't think we really need really a month, because every now and then some nationality is going to be celebrating something or the other.
Yes,
so
of
it's
course.
always ongoing.
With one or two, you can definitely expect
Yes.
a vibrant campus.
Yeah, we have Diwali, Holi, that is always going on, but then we do celebrate all the small festivals as well.
Fantastic. That's nice to know. Do you have on-campus housing?
Yes, we do. We have plenty of housing on our campus and we are building more, because this time we had too many students and we weren't prepared. So we are still building them up. Though it is not a compulsion to stay on campus, we encourage undergrad students to definitely look at it.
So, a freshman coming in,
Mhm.
so is it compulsory for the freshman to stay for the 2 semesters on campus?
Not a compulsion.
Not a compulsion.
But we
not
do
even one
encourage.
semester.
No.
Not even. Okay, that's nice to know.
Also, housing is much cheaper if you have to just cross the street and rent it. It is comparatively very less.
Nice. Harriet, could you tell me what is the acceptance rate of the university? And I have another additional question to this.
Sure.
Does it vary from program to program? Does it vary from whether you're going for an undergrad is going to be different, or if you're going for a master's, is it going to be different?
Sure. So I don't have the acceptance rate with me right now, but I do know that we only take students who qualify the evaluations, and as I spoke about the minimum requirements, that will only allow you to put an application. But once we've taken into consideration all the three factors that we look at, and if you're admitted, and most of the time we do request students to please let us know if you're coming on campus, because we don't have early decision, don't have early admissions, nothing. Most of the time students fail to inform us, and then we are surprised when they just show up on campus. So yes, that happens all the time, and hence we keep telling them, please let us know. And yes, it's departmental. I know our engineering numbers will be higher, but yes, it really depends what program you're applying. Engineering, business will take a little longer.
So you mean
for
to say more
evaluations.
competitive?
Yes.
That's nice. I know it's more or less. I understand. What is your university mascot? I see.
Yes, he's a maverick. His name is Blaze. We have on campus we have right now 12 horses that have been commissioned by organizations and funded for students to really create them, and they all have a meaning behind it.
Okay.
So the physics department will have their own horse, and there is like a full design on its body of space, stars, what it represents, and there is a small plaque that gives you that information. And so given architecture or social work, we have horses for those. So that's a spirit animal. And yes, we are mavericks. And that's a sign. Yeah, this way.
Okay. Great. What is the most popular sport on your campus, on your university, UT Arlington?
I'm really thinking hard, because they make a lot of noise when it's American football and baseball. We are not very popular for basketball, but yes, it's either American football and baseball.
Okay. One service that you would like to highlight for international student that only UT Arlington offers, or is one of your very comforting service to international student?
There are actually multiple, but if I have to really name one, I would definitely talk about our Lockheed Martin Career Center, because I've met the person who handles the Career Center, and she's very passionate, genuinely passionate to see students excel. And as far as I've seen her interaction, she is somebody who will pull the students in and will say, hey, you know what, you're doing great with academics and internship, but why don't you do this certificate course that's there on campus? It will just add to your profile. Or take up these developmental classes. So
Fantastic.
all of that is given to them, and yes, she is equally proactive. So that's one thing that stands out in my mind when I think of UT Arlington.
Oh, great. That's like thinking about the all-round development of the
Yes.
student. You know, you're excelling in academic and now you're taking
Yeah.
another step. That's great. Another question. Name one thing that you liked about your college days that is available at that university. Suppose you attended a college
Yes.
and you liked some factor and which you think is available in the university.
I think just being vocal with your professors is most important, and your professors hearing you out, where you don't have to think twice or how am I supposed to approach. They encourage you to question. They're not somebody like, hey, I'm going to speak and you're going to listen. It's more about what's your opinion, what's your thought, what are your ideas, you know, is there something you don't understand, can we have a different approach to learning or teaching you. And I think that is something is still available at UT Arlington. And yeah, that's what I cherish. I like students interacting with professors, and it's just that it's collaborative in nature. So yes.
Nice, and that can be attributed to because the student professor ratio is pretty small.
Yes.
Right. Okay, tell me one thing, fun thing about the university, or about the city, or about the college, or the town, or one top place to visit in the city, or in the state,
God,
or
I have
around the
two-
university.
Two fun things that come to my mind.
Hmm.
One for somebody who is just looking to have fun. We still have the old arcade.
Mhm.
So if somebody is into like gaming and they want to do the all 80s kind of a thing, we still have that arcade. For students, we just like there's a charge of $10 versus ours we pay a little higher. But yeah, you have that. And I would also like to highlight, I know you asked one, but we have recently, the city has recently found dinosaur fossils,
Okay.
and that's been sent to the museum, the
Ah.
tiny museum that we have, and students do visit that. So
Great,
the
interesting.
footprint of the dinosaur is much bigger than my palm can fit in. So it's really fun to go and watch it.
Great. One resource that student must use. It does not necessarily have to be a university specific, you know. It can be maybe your alumni support, or maybe some website that you would like to recommend.
If I have to think from a student's point, I would definitely ask students to connect with is career advisors.
Okay.
More than anyone else, career advisors. So career advisors are very specific to their program. So if you are interested in studying political science, we may not know everything about political science, but if you connect with the political science career advisor or academic advisor, because they are the ones who make your curriculum, they are the best fit people to inform you about, hey, you like to study this, but this is what the career outcome is, or in next 4 years we are also looking at this collaboration. So they make you aware of the facts that you may not have researched on your own, and I think that is something students should definitely use it as a resource.
And that's one of the things that we
Yes.
also encourage at the center. Now, this is one of my very interesting questions. One mistake that international students usually do while they apply, which they shouldn't be doing.
I have like a scroll list of like things, but
You could name the top 3.
oh, thank you. I will not name the top 3. First is when you're filling in your application form, please fill them as per your passport, because a lot of time there are mistakes like first name, last name, spelling mistakes, registered email addresses, and then the communication is lost or the student is not receiving, and that is like a chaos for the student. Secondly, when you're reaching out to us, sending us emails, please be very brief. I know you appreciate us and we love you for that, But when you write like 3 passages full of email and we just have to like figure out where the problem is, how we can assist, that can really delay the process in our response time. And when you're writing to professors or reaching out to coaches, if you're applying for sports scholarship, be patient. They are full-time working, they do other things besides the university work, and they will take some time, anywhere between 2 weeks to 2 months. So do not send them multiple follow-up emails. Prepare at least 3 to 6 months prior if you are going to write to them. So yeah, 3 things.
Great. Now, how do you all judge a good fit student for your university? Who would be an ideal good fit?
So we are an academically inclined university, so we are going to be looking at academics by default.
Yes.
We will look at students who have minimum 75% and above if it's STEM related programs. If it's non-STEM, we still encourage students with 65 and above, followed by of course the English proficiency, which is equally important, and we will not be proceeding or even processing without these 2 things, transcripts and the English proficiency. Again, with SAT, ACT, if there is any additional documents that we need, we will look at all of it.
Great.
Yes.
Thank you, Harriet, for being with us today.
Thank you for having